Leyla, Josephine.
Yes, I am Robbie Burns.
You call that radio?
Ice cream for breakfast. Last October, I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed. I don't know exactly what led to this point, but I've been kind of depressed for a while. Feeling heartbroken over a boy, Glasgow, feeling unfamiliar. A trap had just come back from working abroad, and sadness, well, it sticks to you. Anyway, I woke up and saw the Glasgow sky, typically grey. I'm not ready to start this day, roll over, stretch, bury my head in the sheets. Beach trying to take on this mess. No, don't get dressed. No, not today. You're not yourself. Your life's a state. Roll over, glaze on, phone, scroll, click, clock, prove I'm not a robot. Watching videos, reading articles, succumbing to the pixels, the neon particles. Oh, beautiful technology, inject me, seduce me, numb me. Shit, out of battery. Fuck it, had no one to talk to anyway. I know, I'm gonna try and eat the pain away. So I go to the kitchen, cupboards empty, cucumber, rice and mayonnaise. I don't really feel like that today. Aha. The freezer, it hums its sweet love song. Open the drawer, oh you dancer. This frozen delight's gonna make everything better. I've only gone and found myself a fucking mint Viennetta. Cut it in half, back to bed, laptop on lap, tap, tap, tap. Kardashians make me feel less alone. Kim's glowing like a traffic cone. Kris Jenner's face is stretched like a trampoline. And I'm here lapping up this buttery ice cream. This is the life. I went back for the second half. Unashamed, gobble, gobble, gobble. Eat your heart out of trouble. I sank into my crusty sheets. I'll have to be careful. These blues don't last all week. I'm feeling full, I'm feeling sick. I try to eat my feelings, but they're coming back quick. And this grotesque self-loathing den I built. I ate so much ice cream, I actually smelt of milk. I made myself sick and had to go back to bed at noon, and I stayed there cocooned by covers, and the sun rose and fell and time moved on without being told to. For days not talking to another soul, wishing there was a body beside me, not just an empty bowl. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad I got through that. It was touch and go at the beginning. I was like, fuck. I actually haven't done a gig all January. I'm still in fucking Christmas mode. This next poem is called The Girls, and I actually wrote it when my friend was defrosting my freezer. Because that's what you do at 5 a.m. after a 3-day sesh. And you're trying to get ice out of the freezer, and your friend goes, you cannot live like this, you crazy fuck. And then stabs the freezer. It was your sister. Stabs the freezer with a knife while she's crying about her ex-boyfriend. So I wrote it after that, and it's called The Girls. Do you do a hammer and a knife? There's something, I think, do you know when you can clean the best, and when you can do exercise the best and defrost the freezer the best, when you're pissed off at your partner. There's nothing better when you're pissed off at someone, you just suddenly become Mrs. Hinch, and you just clean your whole house top to bottom. This is called The Girls. I'll do this. I go on a little rant and then I come back. Don't worry. I've got the girls, forever they've been with me, staggering down streets, laughing, dancing on tables. Girls with their tails that we keep for takeaway meals. Girls, hold your hand, make you tea, come to bed with me, girl. Seas separate us sometimes, but somehow we come home to melt into each other. Always the girls. The Mac counter warriors, belt of lipstick, weapons, contouring is witchcraft. Fuck him, fuck that, taking our bodies back. Bring the girls out of the dark and into highlighter herstory. The girls, just try and call us hysterical girls. Fire in our cheeks, girls, keys between our knuckles. Girls betrayed again, girls when we're alone. You underestimate us, but together we take up the pavement cemented, and you feel threatened. Our love stories are the greatest never told. We are the bold and the too much girls. We laugh just as loud as our mothers. Feel the moon in our waters. We don't chew when we eat, take no breath when we speak. Don't interrupt us, girls. We are angry girls, silence girls, dangerous girls, and we are coming for you. girls. Thank you. So I love memes because in this capitalist dystopian society we live in, memes do get me through, I'm not going to lie. And I saw this amazing meme that said, if you say Space Ghetto in an American accent, it sounds like Spice Girl in a Scottish accent. And when I was touring in England, I got everyone to say it, and then I would instantly feel at home. But obviously you guys probably all have Scottish accents anyway, so it'd be weird to do it. But it is fun. So why don't you turn to your partner and say Space Ghetto in an American accent? Space Ghetto. Space Ghetto. It takes a little moment. Space Ghetto. You got it? Yeah, look, you can get it. So if you're ever in a bunch with really annoying American or English people and you just want a wee second at home, just bring up Space Ghetto. I don't know how you're going to do that. That might be the challenge, but you can try. So I actually live in the land of Rabbie Burns. I live in Prestwick, which is not exactly where he's from. I actually live in Moncton, which is not Prestwick, but no one ever has heard of Moncton. But actually, I was thinking about it. Me and Mark did a gig. He got me to do a Burns night in Ayr like 11 years ago, maybe? I don't know if he's there. And it was just a pub, like a random pub, and then he just put a mic in it. But all the geezers were there just having a drink, playing the puggy, and then we all came and did poetry. And it was the first time I actually got heckled. I got told to fuck off when I was on stage. So Mark really gave me that experience, and it's really set me up for life. So thank you, Mark, for that. The next poem I'm going to do is questions I have for birds. So I live right on the airport. And I love living at Prestwick Airport. It's a very strange place to live. Like, nothing ever happens there apart from, Elvis came once. Does everyone know that? Elvis stopped at Prestwick Airport, and they won't stop going on about it. It's like the only interesting thing. And he was asked years later why he never did a tour of the UK, and he was like, I've been to the UK, it's a dump. He'd literally only been to Prestwick Airport. But what's amazing at Prestwick Airport is that it's so small, it's the same person that takes your ticket, that then takes you through security, that then welcomes you onto the plane. It's the same geezer that does it all. But yeah, I love Prestwick Airport. I look out to the Isle of Arran and the sea, and there's loads of birds because there's like loads of space and loads of sky, and I absolutely love it. And when I first moved, I noticed there was a lot of men hanging outside my house, and I was like, talents move to town, that must be what it is. And it turns out that they are plane watchers, and they're not there to see me. So I've got a new hobby over the last 5 years. I'm a plane watcher. So they watch the planes and I watch them. I also watch the birds. And I once wrote a list of all the things I wanted to ask the birds. And one of those things was how they always fly more when it's windy. And I wondered, maybe that's a really fun thing to do. So I wrote a poem about it. It's called Questions I Have for Birds. Where do you go at night? How do you hear without any ears? Does it hurt when you lose a feather? Are you friends with one another? You know the worms that you strangle out of the earth like screaming red newborns? Do you chew them or gobble them whole? I've never seen a glint of a tooth, so I imagine that's how it works. Is it like swallowing a piece of spaghetti? Is it like sucking your tongue to the spine? Could you confirm? Can you feel them squirm in your belly like eels until the acid melts them to mush? I see you on windy days, flying harder and for longer. Is there more joy in that kind of weather? Gusty and unpredictable, does it make you feel invincible? I see how you dip and glide, a moment of clarity, a break from the monotony of a daily bird routine. What does that feel like? If you had time to explain, I'd love to know. Is it like a child slapping their palms down on the ocean top? A pair of lesbians kissing hard on the street? How a violin string feels when it's plucked? Does it make you vibrate? An old man shouting checkmate in a park with a board on a bench? Pardon the pun, but is it like a duck to water? Is it like coming up on the dance floor, the first taste of tea off a mother's pinky? What is the human version of flying when it's windy? Do you get lost in it? Does it feel like your purpose? Birds, tell me what I can do. I want that feeling always on the wind, on the surf, on the nose, on the breeze, the clarity, the coming together. That's what life is for. maybe. Sorry. I brought it back to myself again. So selfish of me. Now do say, how do you stand on such small feet? Do you have a favourite seed? How do you know what song to sing? Thanks. Thank you. I'm gonna actually do one from the book. So this is my new book, In Public and Private. I've never written a book before. It was a struggle, but I'm so pleased with it most of the time. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I've told all my secrets. But generally, I do. I'm happy with it. Thanks. I have a lot of imposter syndrome. I'm dyslexic, so I never felt the page was for me. But it was. So that was cool. Lots of typos, though. Thanks. It's lots of typos, but I like to think of it more as like a Where's Wally? So you can try and find the typos in the book. But yeah, I was really lucky. During COVID, I got commissioned to write a poem about being Scottish. So I thought I'd do it tonight since we're celebrating being Scottish. However, I left it till the night before because that is my style. And I totally fucked it. And I thought it was just going to be a little thing that no one would ever see. Turns out it was on this online festival where loads of different countries took part. And it was meant to make a film. And I didn't read that small print. And I just filmed it on my laptop. But people had actually made movies. So there was this Scottish poet on before me talking about what it means to be Scottish. And she's amazing. Her name's Roseanne Watt. And she lives in Shetland, and she came on and did this beautiful poem in Scots, and she'd got a drone flying over the snowy mountains of Shetland while she held a burning bush. And I wrote this. So I want you to think about me representing you on the global stage with this poem. And it's called Being Scottish because I'm original and can never think of a title. Being Scottish. So just picture the scene, okay? You've just seen a drone, burning bush, me sitting in my office, probably drinking a Diet Coke, coughing. Being Scottish. It's like reaching the last hurdle in an Olympic race only to realise you can't be arsed. It's like forgetting to press the switch when putting your phone on the charge. It's like you are a bag of crisps and an elephant that lives downstairs, keeps sitting on you and thinking that you're a seat. It's like an advert for toothpaste, but the model's got no teeth. It's a soft, malleable metal that needs heat to conduct. It's being clever, but known better than to act smart. It's shite being Scottish into a mountainous abyss until the mountain looks down its nose and agrees with you. It's visiting the place that you grew up, which is now a car park for a B&Q. It's a buzzard on a lamppost putting up with concrete and change. It's where wildness meets her cage. It's like you are a spotty bum cheek. And someone keeps whipping you with a wet towel, and you keep saying it's funny, even though it hurts and you want them to stop. It's coming to terms with what is and what will always be lost. It's where heat finds the moment, anger masks the sadness, and toast melts the butter. It's being a 1p piece dropped to the bottom of a fountain. It's reaching the last hurdle and forgetting why you're running. Thank you. I've just got 2 more for you tonight. I've got books with me if you'd like to buy one. They're £10, but it's called In Public and Private. And my name is Leyla Josephine. Are you flirting with me? I think this guy's flirting with me. Well, I'm a recent lesbian, so you have to work harder now. What was I going to say? Yeah, so because of the cost of living and because I just want people to read my words, if you can't afford a book, let me know and you can just pay the cost. This poem is called What We Did in the Car Park of Yeats's Grave. Now, when I decided to write a poetry book, I was like, I'm going to have to start reading more poetry, right? Because I'm a performance poet. But I was like, if I'm going to write a book, I'm going to have to do some fucking research, right? So I spent a whole year reading poetry books. And something I noticed is that people always respond to classic poets. You know, it's a thing that they do because they want to prove that they've read a classic poet. Unfortunately, I was not that committed to the cause, so I decided not to. But I had shagged in Yeats's grave, so I thought I would just put that in. So that's what the poem's about. I didn't shag on his grave. That's not what happened. That sounds way sexier. It was in a car, so I'm glad my mum's not here tonight. Is she? Oh no. She would probably do it as well, the slag. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I always get heckled at Mark's gigs. What is it? Rowdy bunch. Okay, so it starts with this. I am still of the opinion that only two topics can be of the least interest to a serious and studious mood: sex and the dead. And that was W.B. Yeats. In our camper van, hidden from tourists, caked in sunscreen, snapping cameras at lichen-covered gravestones, I meet you where you are. The buried curl their toes, their withered noses pressed into the ceilings of their wooden boxes. The dead are jealous. Oh, to be alive and wet, naked on a bunch of pillows, to have your thrumming tongue inside me, to have a blue bottle watching us from the sticky olive oil bottle. Oh, to eat your body like white bread, my open legs, an altar you bend to. You are glass, I stain, as loud you leak, I absorb what I can. We will never merge completely, but this is pretty close. I have been trusted with something holy here. When we are done, I push you out of me onto a piece of kitchen roll. It's not very romantic, but it is true. You take it from me, fold it gently like origami, then leave, letting the sweaty summer outside spill in. You take our love to the shimmering, overflowing bin, add it to fag ends, discarded tickets, licked lolly sticks, and banana skins rotting in the sun. And through the van door, I watched two elderly women on a picnic bench peacefully eating egg mayo sandwiches, not saying a word. And maybe it's the post-sex glow, or the heat, or the way one woman lovingly wipes mayonnaise from her friend's double chin. But God, I feel lucky. Lucky to be fucking under Ben Bulbin's head. Lucky to be so alive and fucking this close to death. Robbie Burns! That's really funny. Do you want a poem about all the good stuff in life, or do you want a poem about vaginas? How did I know you were going to say that? Did someone say vaginas are shite? Oh, right, the good stuff or vaginas. Yeah, I see where you got it for that. So this is called Tell Me About Your Vagina. And I open the book with it because I think if you can get past this, you deserve to read the rest of it because it's probably the most visceral one. And I wrote it when I had thrush, and people kept being like, "You're really flat," and I couldn't tell them that I had thrush because it's like it's unacceptable. So I decided to write a poem about it, perform it for 3 years, and put it in a book instead. And it's called Tell Me About Your Vagina. What does it look like? Does it hang loose, or is it uptight like a mother-in-law? Tell me about your cunt. Is that what it likes to be called, or does it prefer flower? If so, what kind do you think of it? A rose, a buttercup, a thistle, a weed that squeezes through the crack looking for light, a moss perhaps? Tell me, does it have long lips? What secrets does it whisper at dinner tables? Does it slurp like a child with a milkshake, or does it groan like a patient in a ward? Does it have teeth? Does it chatter to you while you hoover your home? Tell me about your pussy. Does it tremble? If so, how? Like an earthquake or more like an airport? An underground train, does it tremble like a teenager at a Harry Styles concert? Tell me about your slit. Is it a sponge or a spike? A knife that slashes through conversations? Or does it only interrupt by politely raising a hand? Tell me, does it have friends? Ones that it welcomes in with a warm embrace? Or is it more prone to having strangers stay uninvited? Kind of like an Airbnb. Do you let them in? Do you give them breakfast? Did your mother teach you that? Did they at least pay for the damage? Tell me about in between your legs, the swamps of your inner thighs, the sweat there. Is it salty or does it taste like trifle? Maybe banoffee, maybe a fine steak with gravy. Tell me about your fanny. Where does it like to be touched? Does it clench like buff men in gyms or does it prefer to swim? Does it sing? Where? In the shower, in the car? What is its favourite song? Tell me about your minge. Is it hairy? Let it go, lady. Could you braid it if you wanted? Or is it as smooth as a MacBook Pro? Does it shed like a dog? Do you keep the strays in a drawer? Tell me about your vagina. Don't be embarrassed about the word. I'll say it for you. Vagina. Does it weep when it bleeds or cackle at the moon instead like the witches before it? Is it something ancient that there is no name for? Is it hysterical good? Is it trying to escape your body or is it at home here? Does it like the rain? Does it pick up stones at the beach? What political party does it support? Does it zip itself up when pushed into corners? Does it have a joke? It always tells. Tell me how it acts. Does it belong to you or you to it? What does it smell like? Does it leave a mark? Tell me about your vagina. Are you ashamed of it? Crossing your legs tightly in public or is it celebrated in your head with champagne, balloons and disco dancing? A hen party in your uterus. I hope that you are proud of it. Tell me about the crease, the electricity that powers there. Tell me, tell me, tell me, because we've all been too quiet and I, for one, am desperate to know. Thank you. Do you want one more or will I fuck off? Right, okay. A quick one. Do you want... Is it over?
Well, I don't know, is it one more poem or is it no one more poem? Can I hear one more poem? Sounds like the one.
This is called By Burn. I don't know any Burns. That's so bad, isn't it? Anyway. A fond kiss. And then, no, I'm kidding. This is called The Good Stuff. The smell of garlic, grass, petrol, pals, poems that make you weep, tits, you filling your arms with me, the way town looks at Christmas, the moon and how it always comes back, expensive pens and red swimsuits, diving in, hair finally long enough to tie in a pony, plaits, armpits, elbows, collarbones, pubic hair and belly buttons, all in and all out, all bodies of water, all bodies of sky, the sound of cereal hitting the bowl, freckles, constellations, scalding hot water bottles, the smell of the rubber reminds me of my mother, someone to take your temperature, sweat in summer, snow, dew, fruit pastel, ice lollies, things that fizz, child's pose, happy baby, learning how to say no, finding your keys, your phone, your vibrator, pictures of you when you were a child, the mosh pit, the war ending, people saying sorry and meaning it, how easily forgiveness comes, patterned wallpaper, flamingos, penguins, whales, kissing strangers on dance floors, the cha-cha slide, your friend's bed, laughing with their loves, bookshops, libraries, printers that are working, postcards, handwritten letters, hotel rooms, and the orgasm on the freshly made bed, blackheads, the edge, the chain, Fleetwood Mac, islands, horizons, eating fish and chips, skin, your period finally coming, waking up from deep long sleeps, blood coming out of the sheets, satisfying sentences, the tongue of your hometown windows. Oh, I am so grateful for windows and grandmothers and finishing books, a film that sticks on you like a stamp, finding a painting that is more like a mirror, backpacks, bikes, circles, wheels, bats, birds, weddings, stretching, reality TV, the tops of mountains, contact lenses, the right shoes, all dogs and their ears, easy peel oranges and easy bowel movements and drivers waiting for passengers running for the bus. Thank you so much.